Hey everybody, wanted to go ahead and get into my project for this sprint. In this last 2 week sprint, I decided to learn and study the language Rust, which is somewhat of a newer language. It was released officially in 2015, and is kind of considered an answer to the C language or C++, um, where you can do a lot of low-level programming, but also has a lot of features and I guess benefits of higher-level languages. Things like runtime, error catching, and bug fixes, and things like that. But since it has a lot of lower level features, it's actually kind of been shown to be pretty good for game making. And I thought that that would be a fun way to learn this language a little better. So I'll kind of go through a few things. So with Rust, you have to first of all install Rust, and with Rust you get what's called Cargo, which is the Rust package manager. So when you run a Rust program, you'll get this cargo.toml file, which has like the normal Rust package and then also allows you to add some dependencies. So these are a few of the ones I use. I used macroquad, rand, anyhow, serta, and these are all ones that I used specifically for game making, to kind of help with that. This is my main file, which essentially this is what runs the games. Is basically like the game launcher. And here I've got the code that I wrote for constructing the board. Oh well, so the game I made was Tetris. I basically just recreated Tetris, just because I love Tetris and thought that would be simple and easy to recreate. So here I wrote the code for the Tetris board, which is like the actual game window that you play in. Let's see, sort of let you guys see some of that. And so this is the actual board, and then this file here, Tetramino, is the code for the actual little Tetris pieces, which are called tetrominoes. So like here, constructing the tetramino, sort of the code for how they'll behave. In the game, they're supposed to appear randomly at the top of the board, and then they slowly descend down, and are able to take different shapes and colors. This is all the code for those. A lot of that. Kind of creating and animating those, and then this is the actual game code here. So the logic of the game is that when you start the game, the pieces will fall down. They'll appear one at a time at the top of the board, and when they reach the bottom of the board, they'll take whatever position you've left them in. So you can move them and rotate them, but once they reach the bottom, they're there for good. And you have to make lines out of them, horizontal lines, and each line that you clear will make it easier to fit more pieces. And that's basically just play until failure. So however high a score you can get. So all of that is in here. Once again. And then this main file is the one that actually calls all of those and runs them. So what we can do, in order to run a Rust program, we have to use, well, first of all, I'm going to cd into the file where my Tetris program is. I called it Tetrust, just because I thought that would be kind of a clever title since it's Tetris made out of Rust. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go cargo build. I've already done the cargo build is like the compilation stage. I've already done that previously, but I'll do that just to kind of show you guys how Cargo works. It's the Rust package manager. So you'll have to build first, which is basically compiling it. And then we can do cargo check, which is sort of a last check to make sure there's no bugs or anything that's going to break the game. Looks like there's not. So then what we'll do is we'll do cargo run and bring up the little window. And so here it is here. So you can use the left and right arrow keys to move the pieces. I created it so you can use Z and X to rotate the pieces. You use X to rotate right and Z for left. So you can rotate either left or right. And then if you are feeling pretty confident about what position your piece is in, you can use the down arrow to just zoom it down. So you don't have to wait for it to get all the way there. And as you can see, if you've never played Tetris before, I'm kind of lining them up on the bottom of the screen to make a horizontal line. And every time you make a full line with your pieces, the line will vanish and make more room for more pieces. And if you look up at the top, at the scoring, so every time you clear a line you get 100 points. I couldn't remember exactly how the scoring worked in the original game, so I kind of just made that up. Just pretty basic scoring, easy to remember. Get 100 points every time you make a line. So yeah, so this, I mean, it's just basic Tetris. One thing that I thought was kind of an issue with the original game is, as you can see, these pieces appear randomly. So you don't know exactly what you're going to get until it shows up. But sometimes in other versions of Tetris that I've played, you will get the same piece maybe 3, 4, or 5 times in a row. So this one, I coded it specifically so that you wouldn't get that. So you get at least every other time, you'll at least get a new piece. So you might get the same one every second or third time, but it, like right next to each other, you won't get the exact same piece twice in a row. But yeah, other than that, pretty much just basic Tetris. I'll show you guys kind of how the game ends. So I'm kind of just purposely losing here. So when the pieces stack up all the way at the top like that, the game is over. And in this version that I've written, you can press R to restart. And we'll go to game failure again. Or you can press Q to quit, and it just kind of reads out your final score, how many lines you made in the game. Kind of goes by levels, so like every so many points, it'll reach a new level. But yeah, so that's Tetrust. I really liked learning Rust. I thought it was actually a lot of fun. It's a language I've been wanting to learn for a while. Felt like it was one that I could be really creative with. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks so much.